it's Justine and welcome back to the series. You know how it works. Stick around for the whole video for a chance to win a prize. Alright, so I'm going to get started. I'm using My Favorite Things products today. Grabbing some black cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, and I am running through the Happy Wonderful Christmas die from My Favorite Things. Now my cardstock here is scored already to fold into a card base. So this is going to be a completely one layer card. I'm just going to pop out all the letters after I finish die cutting. I did use a shim to get a perfect cut. I'm not sure if using it without it, if it would be so easy for the letters to pop out. So if you have one, use one. I'm lining up a piece of white paper underneath, and I'm grabbing a pencil and I am marking off the areas that are the top and the bottom. The reason why is I'm going to be distress inking, and I want the happy and Christmas to be in red, but the wonderful to be in green, and I want to keep it all one layer. You could, of course, cut down on time and just simply use cardstock for this, but I wanted to create a distress background that had a little bit of depth and a few different colors in it, almost like an ombre. So I'm starting off with some fired brick distress ink, and I'm going to move in with some candied apple as well. I found my fired brick tends to be a little dry at the moment, so it's taking a little while to build up the color, so I wanted to switch. This is also going to give me different shades and tones and make my card more interesting. As you can see, I have a piece of 3M masking tape in the middle there, covering the wonderful that will be placed there afterwards, and I'm going to continue inking up so that the red is on the top line as well for happy and Christmas, as I mentioned before. I attempted to erase my eraser marks and it didn't work too well under the distress ink, so if you do use a pencil, be sure to be careful to do them really light so that your distress ink covers any pencil marks. I started off with some forest moss, and I really thought that the ink was blending in with the red on my mat, but I didn't like it at all. It was a little bit too of a natural green for me, so I switched up and grabbed some mowed lawn, and I just really darkened it up, and I have the 2 layers of masking tape, as you can see on the top and bottom, protecting my red space. So now you'll see I'll remove the masking tape, and I have my red and my green layers there. I just have to make sure I line it up properly on the back of my card. So I'm going to add some glue here all around my sentiment area, and then I'm going to pop the white panel with the distress ink on the back. It did take me a couple of seconds to line up, so I would recommend using liquid glue because liquid glue is more forgiving and you'll have a couple of seconds to move around your cardstock before it dries and becomes permanent. As you can see, I had to fiddle with it a couple of times in order to get it right. Next up, I just wanted to brush away any sort of embossing powder. I had been embossing before this, so I had some stray powder left on my desk, and I wanted to get rid of that before I started embossing, and as well gluing down the little pieces in this card. So you could obviously leave the insides of the letters blank. It would look fine. Everybody would know what it says, but for me, I don't know, I'm really picky about this, and I like to have all those little pieces put back in there. So I paper pieced the different letters back in, and I had done this in another video tutorial already, so I don't feel the need to spend a lot of time showing you this. Once that was finished, I grabbed the Dear Friends stamp set from My Favorite Things, and there is a stamp in there that almost looks like a branch, or you could layer these all up to make a snowflake, I was thinking. It's a really pretty, elegant image, and I wanted to emboss that in white just to add a little bit of vibrancy and color to that black cardstock. I felt like it was missing a little bit, and that it could really do with some vibrancy. So I heat embossed that and melted it with my Ranger heat embossing tool, and I think that that made all the colors really pop out, and having that white on black looks really nice. The last thing I wanted to do was add some Nuvo drops. These are my favorite embellishments, and I've used them many times in videos over the last little while. I'm using red and I'm using green, and I really like them because they're opaque, so it means that even though they're on black cardstock, they're still going to remain their natural color. And I think these look really great in adding some color to a black Christmas card, which I normally don't use black, so I was really excited to. Now as far as the folding goes, I'm going to have to wait till all this dries, so you'll just see it in the photo, so I hope you like it. A big thank you to My Favorite Things for sponsoring a $25 gift certificate so you can go shopping. Just leave a comment below and let me know the technique that you're working on improving in your crafting right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.